All right, so setting up auto campaigns. Pretty simple on this end. All you're going to do is navigate to the auto campaign section right under here. You're going to select whatever agent you want to use. You're going to hit display info. If you don't do this, it won't work. So this is super important. If you ever change your agent, right, let's say we go to this one, you need to hit display info again or it won't change. Right? So if I want to switch from Solar Fresh Lead Demo to Test 1, if I don't hit display info, it will be stuck on Solar Fresh Lead Demo and it'll use that one. Right? So let's switch it. So now I just switched. What you're going to do is you're going to name your campaign. So let's just call this Test Campaign. And you're going to select a tag that you're calling. Right? So I had put in a CT Lead Setter on the previous video. Right? So CT Lead Setter. Right? That's the workflow that we were using right here. CT Lead Setter. So I want to make sure that every time a contact gets tagged with CT Lead Setter, that I am then calling that contact. Right? So it's searching for that tag and calling it. And what's important to understand about this is that every time it makes a call, so every time it finds CT Lead Setter, it makes the call, it's also removing the tag. That's how this all works, right? That's how we're able to keep tagging it again and again and again, is because it gets tagged, it gets called, it gets removed, right? It gets tagged, it gets called, it gets removed, and it can go down this chain like that. Now this is to add a tag after it calls. So typically I'll just put CT Lead Setter calling. And this lets me know that it's in the workflow. It's being called. You can put whatever you want there though. It's completely up to you. Has no real functionality other than letting you know it's being called, right? This is the ability to basically set a time for when it's called, right? So I never want to call outside of 9 a.m. And let's just say 6:30 p.m. We'll stick with the same time as the previous video. Right, so these are the time frames I want to call. This goes off of your profile time setting. Right, so for people that are calling in a single time zone, the time zones are really simple. For people that are calling in multiple time zones, it's a little bit more difficult. Right, and sometimes the best thing to do is going to be splitting campaigns in different time zones or just being cautious. But it's important to understand this time goes based on the My Profile time zone. So this is kind of the last line of defense where it will never shoot off this call outside of these hours, outside of 9 a.m. Let's just say it's PST in my time zone, right? 9 a.m. PST and 6:30 p.m. PST. And then also, just as a second layer of defense, because I always recommend being very cautious about this, you guys have your time frames in here, right? 9 a.m. to 6:30. This will also go off of your account time zone and go high level. So important to understand all that. So moving on, once you have this all selected how you want, this is turned on and active. All right, that's turned on. All you're going to do is hit create, and you have now just created your first auto campaign.